Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today Ubisoft Forward just wrapped up and we finally got a bunch of details about Year 6 for The Division 2, including the long-awaited reveal of Year 6 Season 1 titled First Rogue. Damn, that's a good title, dropping tomorrow for the game. But that's gonna have to wait, because in this video, I want to break down everything that we just learned about Seasons 2.0. Because while of course, yes, I am ridiculously excited for Season 3 and the new Brooklyn DLC that it's bringing alongside it, while we just learned about this revamp and upgrade to the season structure in The Division 2 promises to change how we interact with this game at a fundamental level for basically the remainder of its life. Like, this is some pretty major stuff. So, to accompany the Ubisoft Forward presentation that we just checked out on stream, the development team also released an article consolidating and recapping all of the information on this stuff that was given out. So, I want to go over that and give my thoughts on everything that we just learned in regards to Seasons 2.0 and The Division 2's endgame. Do note that the link to the full article will be down in the description below if you want to check it out. But without further frickin' ado, let's go. Alright, two quick things that I want you all to remember as we get into this. Firstly, everything that we are about to cover regarding Seasons 2.0 in this video is not dropping tomorrow with Season 1. Remember, this Ubisoft Forward presentation was aimed not at just the update coming tomorrow, but also the entire year coming up for the game. So the stuff that we're talking about in this video is slated to arrive with Year 6 Season 2 that will be coming in approximately 4 months' time around October. Additionally, this article does not give us every detail, it doesn't give us every answer that we're going to want about these new features and system, and looking over this, I can already predict some of the questions that people are going to be asking. We aren't going to know everything there is to know about this for a little while, but at least this overview gives us a pretty good idea of what to expect with this overall system. Alright, so I just switched over to the article here. I will put up these different sections and paragraphs on screen as we go through it, but let's just read through this and break it down one by one. Starting off with Seasons 2.0. Seasons were introduced to The Division 2 in March 2020 with the release of Warlords of New York. They become a key aspect of the endgame, yielding positive reactions that have strengthened player engagement. However, after 4 years, we believe that the current model is ready to evolve to meet our community's growing needs and expectations. We have gained some valuable insight into what works and what doesn't, and with each new season, it has become a bit harder to bring novelty and surprises. To prepare for the game's future, we needed to reevaluate our season model, update it, and equip ourselves with the right tools to make each season truly unique. Seasons 2.0 will offer an exciting mix of new gameplay elements, new story, and rewards, all presented in a fresh way that allows for greater creativity and surprise. I don't know about you all, but I think that is a damn good opener for how to prep everything that we're about to go over. Essentially, yes, players have pushed the limits of what this current seasonal model can do. There's not much that the devs can do within the constraints that they have to truly surprise us anymore or do things that feel really revolutionary. So if they can unlock some of that and give us some new opportunities, that could be really exciting. But let's see what they have in store. At the core of this new model is a major shift, the introduction of seasonal characters. By focusing the season experience on new characters exclusively, we can create something unique each season with much more control over general balancing and player experience without being constrained by the legacy of each individual existing character. Wow, already a lot to say there, but let's go over this next part first. Each season is meant to be experienced from level 1, featuring a fully revamped and accelerated progression designed to swiftly guide players to the endgame while gradually introducing all game mechanics to prepare them for level 40. Seasons will offer a flexible structure, allowing players to progress in many ways, but also provide clear guidance with a series of objectives and projects to accompany players throughout their progression journey. Alright, so holy shit, The Division 2 is switching to a seasonal character model. This may be familiar to some of you if you've played games like Diablo. I have not personally, so I've never firsthand experienced this kind of a system, but it basically means that when a new season rolls around, yes, you're going to be starting a brand new character if you want to engage with the story and earn the new rewards and all of that. That does not mean you're locked out from transferring that stuff to your main character, we'll talk about that soon, but this means that progression is now on a rolling basis, where you're not coming into a season with so much power, and this starts to address some of the difficulty things that we've talked about in The Division 2 for a while. Again, there's still more to come on this, so hang on. But yeah, this is pretty crazy. It also then incorporates some things we just learned about Year 6 Season 1, how they're introducing one endgame that's going to allow all players, regardless of if they own Warlords or not, to get to level 40. This takes full advantage of that system by now unlocking seasons to every player who owns The Division 2. They can go from 1 to 40 on these new seasonal characters. And they told us way back at Division Day last year about how they wanted the endgame to be a bit more logical. They wanted it to better guide players through all the various content that the game has to offer. And if they can go in and hand tailor that to happen every season, to where in order to progress your character's level and your season track or whatever, you go and do countdown, you go and do some bounties, you go and do whatever, then that's a really good way to guide players around, show them what's out there, so that then when they reach max level, they can have a much better understanding of what the game has across the board. Alright, but let's keep going, because there's still a lot to get through. To create and maintain an ever-fresh experience, each season will introduce a new set of gameplay gameplay modifiers, enabling new playstyles and challenges that will require a reevaluation of established strategies and builds. Again, wow. So this is like every time we get a new season, it's basically going to have a different theme. I imagine this is a way for them to just deepen what they've already been doing with seasons. Since like season 9, remember season 9 had a big like pulse theme with Heartbreaker, with some of that stuff we got with Flatline, the talent there. The upcoming year 6 season 1, we know has kind of a rifle theme with the new gear set and all that we're getting. So if they can now introduce these modifiers that layer on top of the entire seasonal experience as you make these new characters, as you go through the content in the game, that again, season to season, that changes how you play the game, how you interact with the content available. And so I think that just opens the door for even more variety, even more replayability. So that's quite exciting. All right, but here's the important part that I know many of you are going to be curious about. It then says, at the end of each season, all of your hard-earned XP and rewards will be transferred to your main characters, while seasonal characters will be added to your roster. Okay, so even though you are going to be starting a new character if you want to interact with the seasonal content every time that a new season comes around, that does not mean that you're either leaving your main characters behind or that you don't get to keep the loot or it doesn't share any of that. When the season ends, all of that stuff is going to be transferred and your seasonal characters will then become a main character that you can go and use in the rest of the game. So it's all still tied in together, but this is, again, basically just a way for them to reset progression, for them to introduce fresh new experiences. And so yeah, in culmination, this sounds pretty damn good. But we're not done yet, because then they have a section titled Manhunt 2.0. So again, the actual content of the season still has some changes coming. Manhunts have also undergone a transformation in year 6, with the introduction of weekly scouts that offer engaging activities for seasonal characters. With scouts, the Manhunt story will now progress weekly instead of monthly, offering an additional activity to engage in without disrupting your season progression. As always, the Manhunt events will conclude with a new climax mission, but with a twist, the introduction of a new difficulty level called Master. The Master difficulty will be available on top of the existing climax mission difficulties, normal through heroic, providing a challenging gameplay experience tailored for a team of 4 players. Oh my goodness. Okay, that is a lot to break down right there. Firstly, Manhunts are now going to be weekly installments instead of monthly. Now again, we don't have all the answers right now. We don't know what kind of actual activities these scouts things are going to be. Are they significantly different from the Manhunt objectives we have right now? We don't know. How does 10, 12, 14 weeks of scout content compare to the 4 installments of the current Manhunt content that we get? Again, I don't know that. But at a base level, the idea of having new stuff to do every week in the Division 2 relating to the seasons, that is super exciting. And then for me, I am just elated at the idea of this Master difficulty. We've said for quite a while that the Division 2 these days lacks a lot of challenge. In the endgame, it lacks a reason to go and play stuff like Legendary or whatever. But to introduce an all-new Master difficulty that's tailored for 4 players, that is really, really exciting. And I think this does a couple of things. It can make it so that they can further lean into dedicated mechanics in these climax missions. We've already seen them, try and do that in some of these different ones. You think about how the Zoo mission from Year 5 Season 1 differed from the Recruiter mission in Year 5 Season 2. Imagine those missions turned up to 11 on Master difficulty, which is then tailored for 4 players. That is quite exciting. And I don't imagine that these will be as complex or as intricate or difficult as something like an incursion, but if we're essentially getting mini incursions every season, you get 3 of those a year, right? If they're sticking to 3 seasons per year, that's pretty darn cool, on top of whatever other content, that season and that update brings. So again, on top of seasonal characters and everything they're doing to the base way that seasons work, everything that they're pitching here for Manhunts 2.0 sounds way more engaging, way more exciting for me personally. Weekly scouts, weekly gameplay and story installations, and then all leading up to a Master difficulty for the new climax missions. Hot damn, we're eating good. I'll just come out there and say it. I think the Division 2 team cooked with these changes. So there you have it, my friends. That is everything that we just learned out of Ubisoft Forward and this article regarding the upcoming Seasons 2.0 and endgame restructuring update for the Division 2. I am really, really pleased at all of this. Of course, we're going to have to wait to get our hands on this stuff to truly evaluate it, truly see how it feels to play, the differences here compared to what we have currently. But I really do think that the team took their time, evaluated what is lacking in the current seasonal structure or what players have wanted from it for a long time. And it looks like they're doing their absolute best to deliver on that and give us an actual fresh new experience every season. I love the fact that they talk about how the current system doesn't allow them to create a lot of surprises, a lot of differentiation between each season. I love the fact that we're switching to now weekly content for the Manhunts, the fact that we're going to get this Master difficulty. It all just seems really, really good. Again, we'll have to wait to play it, but for now, based off of this pitch, I'm very excited. And now I turn it over to all of you. I cannot wait to hear your guys' thoughts on these changes. Again, there's still a lot of stuff that we're going to have to find out over time. How does stash space work? Character slots, the duration of these seasons. Like, there's going to be a lot of questions that we still want more answers to. But for now, base level, the pitch of these changes, what are you guys thinking? Alright, and if you ended up enjoying the video, we're just getting started on our coverage of Ubisoft Forward. I got some more stuff coming for Year 6 Season 1, everything else. So if you enjoyed this one, then be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already so that you don't miss out. And yeah, I'll see you all very soon. Until then, everybody, RogueGold out.